If you're thinking about moving to Halifax, or even just moving to a different part of Halifax, there's a good chance you've already started doing what people always do first. You search the same well-known neighborhoods. You look at the same popular listings. And after a while, you start thinking one of two things. Either everything worth looking at feels too expensive, or the places that fit your budget do not feel like places that you can really picture yourself living. And that is exactly where a lot of buyers, they get stuck when navigating the market, because when people think about moving to Halifax, they often focus on the neighborhoods that everyone already knows and is already talking about. But some of the best places to live are not always the ones getting talked about most. Sometimes the right area for you is one that keeps getting overlooked. In this video, I want to show you some of the best Halifax area neighborhoods that you may not have been seriously considering yet, but probably should. And this matters whether you're a first-time home buyer trying to get into the market, whether you're a growing family looking for more space, or if you're someone ready to downsize without giving up a lifestyle change that's too drastic for what you want to balance out. I'm Logan Tomczyk, your real-life realtor, and my goal is to help you make your next move with more clarity, less stress, and a better understanding of what Halifax really has to offer. Because the truth is, choosing the right neighborhood is not just about buying a home. It's about choosing how you want your life to feel. Now, do you want more space? Do you want a stronger sense of community? Do you want better value? Do you want to be closer to schools or parks or the waterfronts here in Halifax? These are the things that matter after the boxes are unpacked and you're all moved in. And that's why I always tell buyers not to get too locked into the obvious areas too early. The best fit is not always the most talked about fit, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Also, if you have a second, subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot, and I love giving real advice to navigate the Halifax real estate market. But let's start with one conversation and one area that I think needs to be talked about, and it's the Woodlawn and Creighton Park areas. Now, if you're looking for a neighborhood that gives you a strong sense of community, mature surroundings, and a more accessible entry point compared to some of the higher profile areas, this is one worth paying attention to. What I like about Woodlawn and the Creighton Park area is that it feels well established. It feels lived in, it feels real, it feels like a neighborhood where people actually know the area. They care about the area and build their lives here. For the first-time buyers, that can be really appealing because you're not just trying to get a house. You're trying to get into a community that feels comfortable and practical for you just starting off right now. And for a family looking to upsize, it can mean having parks, schools, and daily essentials nearby without feeling like you're stretched too thin financially to get into the home and into the market. Then there's the Creighton Park area. This is a very different kind of option, but for the right buyer, it can be a fantastic fit. If you want a neighborhood that feels practical, convenient, family-friendly for sure, and a little more modern in terms of layouts and urban planning for the area, Creighton Park deserves to be on your list. Now, a lot of people like it because it offers that balance between suburban comfort and city convenience. You can get homes here that have ample amounts of space. You can get functionality here. You can get access to schools, shopping, recreation, and major city routes. So you're close to everything, but still have a little bit of space to yourself. And if you're upsizing, this can be the kind of area that starts to make a lot of sense for your next move. Because when your life changes, your priorities, well, they change too. Suddenly, extra bedrooms, they matter more. Storage matters more. A better layout matters more. The ability to move through your daily routine a little bit easier, it matters more. That is why I always tell upsizers that the next house is not just about square footage. It's about support for the lifestyle that you're living now, and how can you amplify that to your ways. Now let's talk about Eastern Passage, because this is one area that gives you something a lot of buyers are looking for right now. Lifestyle. We're talking lifestyle here. Eastern Passage has a different feel to it. There's a coastal energy here. There's character here. There's a pace that feels a little bit more relaxed. And for some buyers, that's exactly what they've been missing. There are people who move through the home search focused only on numbers, and then they forget to ask themselves a really important question. How do I want my day-to-day life to feel when I get home? Now, Eastern Passage, that can be the great answer to that question. Because yes, value matters. Yes, budget matters. We're not discrediting those at all. But guess what? Lifestyle, that matters too. For some people, being near the water feels more connected to the eastern coast atmosphere that Nova Scotia offers, and living in a place with a bit of charm and breathing room can completely change just how your home feels. And then there's Cole Harbour. Cole Harbour is one of those areas that has a lot going for it right now, especially for families and home buyers who want a strong mix of community, convenience, and livability. It's an established area. It's practical. It has a family-oriented feeling, and it offers a range of housing options that can appeal to different stages of life. For first-time buyers, it can be a place to get started. For upsizers, it can be a place to grow. For downsizers, it can still offer familiarity, convenience, and strong connection. And that range, it matters, because not every buyer is looking for the same thing. What works for a couple buying their first home is different for what works with a family that has 2 kids. And that difference, again, from someone who wants less maintenance and a simpler lifestyle. That's why I don't believe in giving people a generic list of best neighborhoods, because the best neighborhood is not going to be the same for everyone. I think that a better question to ask my clients and people looking for homes is, which neighborhood is best for you? Now, let me give you a quick example here. I want you to imagine a family moving to Halifax from a much larger city. They started the way that most people do: online searches, lists of top neighborhoods, videos, market reports, options from people who do not really know the situation. And at first, they focus only on the names that they hear over and over again. And the more that they look, the more discouraged they get. The homes feel expensive when you're only looking at Shore Drive in Bedford or downtown Halifax, and the competition is intense. And the whole move, it starts to feel more stressful than what it really should. They begin to wonder if they're going to have to compromise on space or lifestyle or their budget just to make their move work. But then something changes. Instead of searching only by what is popular, they start searching by what actually fits their lifestyle. They look at commute, they look at community, and they look at value. They look at what kind of environment they want their children to grow up in. And all of a sudden, areas they were not even considering at first can make a lot more sense. That is when the move becomes exciting again. People get reinvigorated again. that is when Halifax starts to feel full of possibility instead of pressure. Nobody wants that. And that is the shift that I want more buyers to make, because moving well is not about chasing what everyone else says to do. And that might not even fit your criteria. It's about understanding your options clearly enough to choose what is the best option for you and your next move. So if you're planning a move to Halifax, here's what I want you to remember. Do not get stuck only looking where everyone else is looking. Do not assume the most talked about neighborhoods are automatically the right ones to dive into. And do not underestimate how much your lifestyle, your budget, and your long-term goals should shape your search. There are some incredible communities here in Nova Scotia. Woodlawn areas, Creighton Park, Clayton Park, Eastern Passage, Cole Harbor, just to name a few. Each one offers something different. Each one could be the right fit for the right buyer. And sometimes the best move you make is simply widening your view enough to see what all is out there today in the market. If you're thinking about buying in Halifax, upsizing, downsizing, or relocating, and you want help figuring out which neighborhood actually fits your next chapter, my contact information is in the description of this very video below. Reach out to me directly. I'm happy to help answer any of your questions. I'm always taking on new clients, and I want to help make your next move with more confidence and stress-free. If this video was helpful to you, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more Halifax real estate advice designed for real people making real moves. I'm Logan Tomczyk, your real-life realtor here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I want to help you find not just the right home, but the right home to build your next chapter.